Angastam arambamatungayantam premanandam daruka nabhyanandat kamsarate vijnayena sakshat akshodiyan antarayo vyadai. The example, famous example is given of Daruka. Daruka was fanning Krishna, but as he was fanning Krishna, he felt so much ecstasy that he became stunned and he couldn't move and he lost external consciousness. A few moments later, that ecstasy subsided and he opened his eyes and saw that he'd stopped serving. And then he criticized himself. Oh, go ecstasy, go away. Don't get in the way of myself. So those who have the Kamatmik Bhakti, they are the extreme limit of only wanting to fulfill the desires of Krishna, and especially in our line of Srila Rupa Goswami Pad, only desire is to fill the desire of Radhika to please Krishna through Srimati Radhika. So Srila Raghunath Dasa Swami, he says, Tvada lokala kala hi dangstra eva mritam janam tatpadabja kripa laksha veshaja devi jivaya. In this Ragamarg, a person can be successful. How? By 3 ingredients. There are 3 components in his life. 1, unpretentious humility. Not a pretend humility. Burn down. I'm the most fallen. But actual humility. Not acting humble to show that I'm the most humble. But actual humility. Realizing I am very fallen and I am very far away from my goal. So first, unpretentious humility. Secondly, intense hankering. By hearing from devotees who have that greed to serve, by associating with devotees who have that greed, who are ready to sacrifice everything for the service of Radha and Krishna, then we may also be blessed with an intense hankering. And the third thing, one-pointed focus on the goal. Not having multiple projects all at the same time. So unpretentious humility, intense hankering, and one-pointed focus on the goal. So in this prayer, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Pad is saying, Oh Radhika, I have been bitten by the snake of separation from you. Can you imagine if you're bitten by a poisonous snake? Then what happens? The poison starts to spread all over the body. The whole nervous system feels like you're on fire and you're about to die. This is not poetry. Raghunath Das Goswami actually feels like this, as if his entire body and mind are on fire due to separation from Radharani. Just by remembering the lives of our Goswamis and praying to them, all the bigna, the obstacles in our spiritual life, are all destroyed. Just remember how Raghunath Das Goswami is actually on fire with the poison of separation from Srimati Radhika. Oh Devi, oh Radhika, please bring me back to life. How? By the touch of your footlag. Right? Because it's the position of the maidservant every morning when Radhika wakes up. She has to help her bathing and decorating, and also painting the red black on her feet. It's so dear. It's so dear to that maidservant. So Raghunath Das Goswami prayed, Asha Barara Mrita Sindhu Maya Katanchit Kalam Mayati Gamitam Hi Asampratam Hi Tanchat Kripam May Vidasya Sinaiva Kimme Prana Brajena Chaparuru Bakarinapi. Oh Srimati Radhika, for a long time I have been carrying a heavy burden of hope to attain your service. But now this burden has become so heavy. My hopes have become so heavy, but they're not fulfilled. I cannot carry the weight anymore. I cannot go on anymore. Everyone who was sent to help me, Yadunandanacharya, my Gurudev, Swarup Damodar Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Roy Ramananda, Swarup Damodar, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they have all left this world now. What will I do? Oh Radhika, if you will just sprinkle one tiny drop of mercy on my head and save my life, then I can go on. Otherwise I cannot go on anymore. This is one-pointed attention, completely. There's not, for Raghunatha Swami, nothing exists in the world. Nothing exists. I will die if I don't attain your mercy right now. And if you say, oh, Krishna, let Krishna give mercy, then I say, Prana Brajena Chabaroru Bhakaranapi. Oh Radhika, without your mercy, what is the use of my residence in Brajmandal? Even I have no use for Krishna's mercy if I cannot attain your service. So these are the ecstatic moods of Srila Raghunatha Goswami, the prominent follower of Rupa Goswami. Our great acharyas, they are living this in their life. Perhaps you know that once Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote a letter to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. And in that letter, he said, Hridaya Baliloke bo Daito daseru sevo Gopidaner katara kirtan Gopidaner katara kirtan. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, someone has whispered in the core of my heart, Daita Dasera Seva, that the service of Daita Das, Prabhupada, before his sannyas, his name was Shripa Shabanavi Devi Daita Das. So, Hridaya Balilokeba, someone has spoken in my heart, Daita Dasera Seva, the service of Daita Das is Gopi Dana Katara Kirtan, performing the kirtan of the kata, which is Gopi Dhan. That kata, which is the treasure of the Braja Gopis. To sing that, that is the service of Daita Das. In other words, our Prabhupada Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, in the form of Mani Manjari, her main service is singing. Singing the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Singing songs that Radhika herself has taught her at the appropriate time. And when Radha and Krishna hear each other's qualities sung by that maidservant, then they experience the greatest joy. So we see that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has prayed, Siddha Deha Diya Ho Vrindavana Maje, Siddha Deha Diya Vrindavana Maje, Sevamrita Karo Dana, Sevamrita Karo Dana, Priya Iya Premo Mata Kori More, Priya Iya Premo Mata Kori More, Suno Nija Guna Gana, Suno Nija Guna Gana. What bhajan chatura is in this? You understand? Bhajan chatura? To do bhajan requires some skill, some cunning, some cleverness. Not everyone has such skill. But from the great Rasik Vaishnavas, like Prabhupada, like from our Gurudev, like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one can learn the skill of bhajan. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is crying, Sri Radha Krishna Padakamale Mana Kemani Lobibe Charama Sharana. Oh, Radha and Krishna, when will I attain your lotus feet? I am sitting in this world, I am just a person thirsty for sense gratification. Give me good association and shiksha, how to do bhajan, how to attain you. My days are passing. I am in the river of time, and the river of time is quickly flowing to the ocean of death. Like we sang in the beginning of the class. Hari, Hari, Bifale Janan. Nartanda Thakur is also weeping. Oh, I've wasted my life. Richard II, you know Shakespeare. I wasted time, and now time wastes me. So when the devotee's heart is full of hopes, then they feel that the days are passing so quickly. I'm rushing towards my death and I still didn't do bhajan. Alas, alas. Kalera sagari dayo. I'm flowing in the river of time towards the ocean of death. Oh Radhika, oh Krishna, please save me. So Siddha Deya Diya Vrindavanamaje, please bless me. When I chant the holy name, that my Siddha Deya, my spiritual form will appear in Vrindavan. Sevamrita Korodhan. Oh Radhika and Krishna, engage me in your service. What service? Piyaya Prema Mata Kori Mori. Make me drink the nectar of your prem. Shuno Nija Gunagan. I'm telling this in relation to our Prabhupada, Naina Mani Manjari. Her service is a singing the Leela of Radha and Krishna to Radha and Krishna. So then you may think, oh yes, I would also like to that service. Yes, please, fulfill my desire. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, oh Radha and Krishna, he's saying, I'm not asking to fill this desire for me. I'm asking for you. Right? Because pure bhakti is not about our happiness. It's about Radha Krishna's happiness. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Siddha Deya Diya Vrindavanamaje, when will I have my spiritual form in Vrindavan? Sevamrita Korodhan, and you give me this treasure of the nectar of your service. Piyaya Prema Mata Korimori. And when the two of you meet, and the prem is overflowing from you, and causing all the trees to tremble in ecstasy, the birds are fainting even, and I'll be there, and I'll become completely maddened, completely intoxicated in the waves of love emanating from the divine couple. And then when that ecstasy is in the heart, it cannot stay there. It will burst out in the form of kirtan, in the form of song. And when your glories come from my mouth, you will hear that song, and that will make you so happy. So, Piyaya Prema Mata Koram Suno Nija Gunagan. You will relish the nectar of your own qualities if you make me intoxicated, and I'll sing them. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, even what he's praying for the fulfillment of his sadhan, of his bhajan, is not for him. It is only for the happiness of Oye Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai, Barasani Wali ki Jai, Jai Jai Sri Radhe Shyam. Gaur Prema. Hari Hari Bol. Sadhu, 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 sadhu. You are very kind to tolerate me and very patient to listen to all of these things. Though I cannot explain very well or fluently or expertly, but still our Srila Vishwanath Thakur is explaining very important principles. Try to follow them, because many try to go on the path, but without the ray, the Chandrika, the moonbeam illuminating the path, then they become lost in the jungle. So it's very important that we receive with the greatest honor Srila Vishwanath Thakur's illumination, so that we can know the right way to go. Go and pray on. So will we make an arti now? Who's the pujari? Yes? So you can blow the concha and we'll begin the arti after. And perhaps that is Prashad. I don't know. You ask Vrindavan Vilasi because I don't know how much time we have. No, Krishna Chandra Prabhu is raising his hand to ask a question. So I'm asking you, do we have time for the... Yeah? Okay. I don't want the management to come and charge you an extra $1,000. Everything's very expensive here in Switzerland. Yes, Krishna Chandra Prabhu, how can I serve you?
In the beginning we discussed how the Kripa Shakti, her Kripa Shakti, is taking the bhaktas as a vehicle. So sometimes we can even see that some souls, they enter association with very great bhaktas, but somehow not a radical consequence is happening about. This means the Kripa Shakti really couldn't grasp that soul completely. So what is the part of the jiva, of the soul, that the mercy can really transform it? What is the attitude inside the soul that is still needed?
So there are numbers of reasons why one may not receive the completely transformational mercy that completely transforms one's life. So one reason may be due to offenses. Because by mercy, Guru plants the seed in the heart of bhakti. And then one has to water it by hearing and chanting every day. It begins to grow. But if one commits any offenses to Vaishnavas, that's like the mad elephant that comes and tramples the creeper, and the creeper becomes broken. It can even be uprooted, even. So that it becomes uprooted means that person may, after some time, leave bhakti in that life. And they'll come to bhakti, and after some time they'll go away. And it may be a few lifetimes before the effect of the offense wears off. And then it will come manifest again and they'll continue. Otherwise, a person just may have the creeper not uprooted, but broken somewhat, which means that they're still a devotee, but they're not fully engaged. They're not engaged with the full enthusiasm. So the most important thing is that Duruad Bhuta Viryesmin Sada Dureis tu Panchake Yata Sopati Sandabat Sadyam Bhavajambane. If one has a Saddhi, that means a heart which is free from duplicity and free from hypocrisy. Especially finding fault in others is the main hypocrisy. Shakespeare also said, he said that every man has a big bag in front of him, which is full of his neighbor's faults, and another bag behind him full of his own faults, but he doesn't look there. Like this. So if a person is not critical, and they're also not hypocritical, that's called a smooth heart. So the smooth-hearted person, Duruadvuta Biryesmin Stradaduris Tupanchake, even they don't have faith, even. But if a person has a smooth heart, just by a moment, yatra swalpa sambandha, just by a little association with the pure devotee, the bhavs, there's a shadow of that bhav may be there, or even a full manifestation of bhav will come, and they'll progress very quickly, like this. So it depends that sometimes there's some offense, but we should know that the mercy of Vaishnavas is always effective. And if a person meets a pure devotee in this life and serves them a little and pleases them a little, then in the next life they'll have a very good chance. Because we spoke how it's much easier for the person who has the praktan sanskar, the last life's impressions, than the person who has the aduniki sanskar, who's only developing them in this life. Yes?
I have a question too. You spoke about Rupa Goswami, therefore I want to ask about Rupa Goswami. Why is Govinda Dev the Ishta Dev of Rupa Goswami? And does it mean that just because Govinda Dev appeared to Rupa Goswami, he automatically becomes the Ishta Dev of Rupa Goswami? Because also there is only one Nrsimha Dev, and according to his mood he has different names. So one cannot say like, oh, this mood of Nrsimha Dev is my Ishta Dev. It's always Nrsimha Dev who is the Ishta Dev. And
yes.
so what is the connection of Govinda with Rupa Goswami, or Madan Mohan with Sanatana Goswami?
18 Thakur Gaudiyache Koriyache Natmasat, 18 Tana Bandhavan Tinimornath. Who is a Gaudiya Vaishnav? A Gaudiya Vaishnav is that person whom Govinda, Gopinath and Madan Mohan have made Atmasat. That means that they've incorporated them into their hearts and into their Leela, into their eternal service, and made them one. As if their bodies are one, their minds are one, their senses are one. Those persons who have no independence from Govinda, Gopinath and Madan Mohan, who never feel themselves, who are fully dependent on them, who never feel themselves independent, whose entire existence is only to please them. They're called Gaudiya. So a Gaudiya is not a person who's only devoted to this one, or this one. Govinda, Gopinath, Madan Mohan have made the Gaudiyas Atmasat. And so the implication is that Madan Mohan is Krishna, Govinda is Krishna, Gopinath, they're all Krishna. But Madan, it depends on the stage of a person's development. So first, to become established in Sambandha Gyan, we have to have the darshan of Krishna, who is Madan Mohan, is so beautiful, he bewilders Cupid. Because everyone in this world is bewildered by Cupid. And that's why we can't get out. We can't get out of this world because we're bewildered by Cupid. That means we have worldly desires. So Madan Mohan comes, and that Cupid faints, and now you're free. Right? And now you can be established in your Sambandha relation with Krishna. Then Govinda Dev is in the Yoga Pit in Vrindavan. He's in the Vrindavan Yoga Pit. Divyad Brindaranya Kalpadrumada Srimat Ratnagar Singhasanasto Sri Sri Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prashtalibi Sevimano Smarami. Smarami, I remember. Smaran, remembrance, is the Mukhya Anga, it's the main limb in Raganuga Bhakti. But that Smaran should be Kirtan Adhin. That means the Smaran is arising from the power of the Kirtan. Here in Bhagavad Chandrika later you'll say, the Smaran in Ragamag is the main limb, but it's Kirtan Adhin. That means it's completely under the control of the holy name. So it's not something separate. So the Govinda, the remembrance of the service of Radha Govinda, surrounded by the 8 Sakhis, this is the Abhideya Tattva. So even though all of our Goswamis, they can perform any service. Sanatana Goswami came to this world, he was entrusted with the service, manifest Sambandha Gyan. So he wrote Brihad Bhagavatamrita, which situates us properly in relation to Vrindavan and towards our ultimate goal. And so he discovered Madan Mohan. So Sanatana Goswami is the Acharya of Sambandha Gyan. Madan Mohan is the predominating deity of Sambandha Gyan. Sanatana Goswami manifests predominantly in his writings there. Then Rupa Goswami, he has manifested mainly the Abhideya Tattva, the process by which we can become perfect. And the deity who is the predominating deity of the Abhideya Tattva. And then Raghunath Das Goswami is the Acharya of the Prayojan. We don't see, there are a few poems of Raghunath Das Goswami, but there's not an elaborate description of all the stages of practice and so on. It's more the internal moods of the advanced Raganuga Vaishnavas, like Vilat Kosamanjali and other poems. So Srila Raghunath Das Goswami was appointed to manifest the Prayojan Tattva. Now Rupa Goswami could have done the service of manifesting the Prayojan Tattva, Raghunath Das Goswami could have done the Abhideya Tattva or the Sambandha Gyan. But Mahaprabhu had entrusted them with these services and manifested the particular deities which are the predominating deities of those stages in our own bhakti. So in this way, one should not think, oh, who? Krishna is Krishna. Krishna is Krishna. But still, a devotee may realize in his heart a particular pastime, and the name related to that pastime is very dear to him. So then the devotee will like Rupa Goswami wrote, what? Govinda Virudavali. And so Rupa Goswami, Govinda Dev is very dear to him, but don't think really Govinda Dev is not Madan Mohan or Gopinath, because the definition of a Gaudiya is the one who's been accepted, and those 3 deities have assimilated them into their non-dual transcendental existence beyond this world, wherein there is variety, but that variety is in the plane of non-duality. There's Bahutva and Ekatva, but the Ekatva, the oneness, is in the service of the Bahutva. The oneness is in service of the variety. So you can think like that. Yes? Yes?
first time that I'm listening to teaching like this, so please excuse if I missed anything. My question is, you talked about this instance where, now I missed the word, ecstasy comes in the way of service, and I understood very well, but I was wondering, what is the place for ecstasy? Like, I guess it's a kind of balance, but I guess also there's a more detailed answer to that.
Yes, that's very fascinating. You see, the chitta, that is the innermost region of your heart, that is where the love resides. But for the gopis of Vrindavan, this love is so powerful that it completely permeates and saturates all of their chitta vrittis, and then overflows into the pran everywhere, and goes everywhere to every pore of the skin of their body until their bodies are saturated with prema as well. And then this causes the physical ecstasies, such as trembling, hair standing on end, horripilation, perspiration, tears flowing, becoming stunned. And so, for example, becoming stunned, then you can't serve when you're stunned. And if you have tears in your eyes, you cannot see, you cannot look, see what's going on. You may want to speak, but you cannot because the voice is choked. Or it may be an ecstasy is making you speak, and you can't stop speaking, and your speaking is getting in the way of the service as well. Pratyuha pulakankarena nividashvaiseni meisena cha krida kuta vilokateda rasudam kata kelibi anandadigamena manmata kala yudepi yasmin abut udbhuta satayo babhuva suratarambe priyambhavuka. Here, this is a verse of Jayadeva Goswami, but it's quoted by Rupa Goswami in his Ujjwala Nilamani. He's saying, when Radha and Krishna meet, they feel so much ecstasy. But what happens? Pratyuha pulakankarena nibida. Radhika is about to embrace Krishna, but then her hair stands on end so intensely, she thinks, oh, I cannot embrace him tightly because my body's become rough. You know? Like a thorn tree. Because this hair standing on end and the horripilation of the pores of the skin is so intense, she thinks if I embrace him too tightly, then it will be too rough. So she's about to embrace, but her ecstasy gets in the way. Krida kuta vilokte, and she wants to look what Krishna is doing. What will he do next, so that she can respond. But her eyes blink. And the blink of an eye, the love is so intense that one fraction of a second seems like a long time. The density of the prema. This is not like something of this world. The density of the prema is so intense that when the eyes blink, where did Krishna go? What's happening? What is he doing? How can I? So now the blinking of the eyes are getting in the way. Krida kuta vilokate darasadapani kata kelibi. And in the joy, Radhika wants to say so many things. She wants to speak so many things. But at the same time, Krishna wants to kiss her. But he cannot kiss her because he keeps talking. And in the ecstasy she becomes stunned and then she cannot even move. So udbhuta satayo babhuva suratarambe priyam bhavuka. But still, even though, now this is a very great speciality here that Rupa Goswami is saying, it's taking the whole discussion to another level. Even though the ecstasy can get in the way of service, and so then the devotee may criticize the ecstasy. But in that highest level of praying, when the ecstasy gets in the way of Radha Krishna's sweet pastimes together, then that ecstasy is actually even dear to her and dear to Krishna also. Why? Because the momentary pauses in the play increase the anticipation. When the fulfillment of the desire is checked for a moment and again checked for a moment, and so there's a stage where even the obstacles become dear as well. So priyam, they become priyam. So even devotees in this world, when they're having spiritual realizations, their chitta vrittis, the movements of their heart, become filled with bhakti, and it overflows into their pran as well. So even devotees in this world will experience the hair standing on end, tears, trembling, and so on. These are called astasattvas, 8 bodily transformations caused by the manifestation of spiritual ecstasy. So that's also one kind of, if someone has any doubt. But very advanced devotees, it may be, if one is very lucky, and with them when they're doing bhajan, one may see such ecstasies. The tears, the trembling, the choking voice, hair standing on end. Then one is very fortunate. Okay, last question now. Yes, Krishna Chandra.
You describe extremely deeply and beautiful the seva of Nadamani Manjari. And actually it's not for even the longing for the spiritual body and for the perfection of one's spiritual life is actually a seva for them. So sometimes devotees, they reflect and they ask, in what way is that what I'm offering, even myself, really an advantage for Radha and Krishna who are so perfect? What do they gain? Why can I say that singing, when I chant, why is it a seva for them? Because most of the devotees, they think, oh, I want to go out of some conditioning of this world. So it's not...
We spoke about that in the beginning. That was called Vaidhi Bhakti.
Yeah. So in what way is really the singing and that what we offer a seva for them, that is something that is anukul, that is so favorable for them that they themselves feel extremely blessed?
Yes, it's true. So the question is, how is that possible? And the answer is this, that one example is given by Srila Jiva Goswami in Priti Sandarbha, that if a person has a flute, then they blow their breath into the flute. It was the same breath that was inside them, but when it was in the flute, it became music. And that music has the power to make you laugh, to make you cry, to make you feel melancholy, to make you feel love. So many emotions can come. So, though the breath inside and the air in you and the air in the flute is the same air, but when it's in another container, it produces another effect. So in the same way, Krishna is Sachidananda Vigraha. He's the embodiment of Sat, eternal existence, Chit, consciousness, and Ananda, joy. But when his joy comes out and goes into you, or to any devotee, his own joy potency gives him more varieties of happiness in you than when it's in him. Just as the air in your body gives you happiness, breathing is a good thing. No one wants to stop breathing. But the air, when it goes in the flute, has the potential to produce so many emotions that just your ordinary breathing will not produce. So this is one understanding. Now another understanding is that Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Patbhavitabi Stabhiya Eva Nijarupataya Kalabi. Radhika herself is the complete Ananda. The total Ananda of Krishna is manifest as outwardly as the Ladini Shakti Swarup, the embodiment of his pleasure potency. That is Radhika. And then Radhika herself has expanded herself and become Lalita, Vishaka, Chitratampa, Kalata, and all the main Sakhis. And she also expands herself and becomes all the Manjaris as well. So those Manjaris are also expanding. And so, our Guru Parampara, they are those expanded Manjaris, and they expand again. And when a disciple surrenders to his Guru, that expansion that comes from Sri Guru, that's your spiritual body. And so, our spiritual form is in the ultimate issue, actually a part of Radha Krishna's reality. And they're gradually manifesting, and the living entities are taking up their spiritual forms. So someone will say, well, does that mean the form's there, or is it there? That is called Parichchina Gyan. Your intelligence is trying to break reality into pieces. Reality doesn't have pieces. It's called Vadanti Tat Tatvavidas Tatvam Yad Jnanam Advayam. Where is Krishna? There. Where is Radhika? There. Where is Vrindavan? There. Everything is there. And so one will realize in the heart, one's Swarup is there also. So the transcendental reality is not divided by time and not divided by space. So you could say, well, that's not me, because I haven't attained it yet. Well, you just divided reality by time. And if you say it's somewhere else, it's not there, now you've just divided reality by space. So that's the problem with the material intelligence. One only gets Parichchina Gyan, little bits of knowledge, where the holistic view of reality is just fractured into the disparate and inharmonious pieces, contentious, conflicting pieces. But in the ultimate reality, everything is harmonized. Has it covered it somewhat? No? So that bhakti which pleases Krishna so much has come from him. When a devotee, let's say a devotee from here, attains their service there and is singing, the energy by which they are singing is Krishna's own pleasure potency. That's why it gives him pleasure, because it's his pleasure potency. Bhakti is the vilas of Swarup Shakti. It's the play of Krishna's spiritual energy. This is one. Okay. Pujari, blow the conch. All the demigods are gathering in the sky for Mahaprabhu's arti. Lord Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol. Jai.
Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Gaura Hari Gaura Hari Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Prabhupada Shri Swaraj ki jai, Saptam Goswami Satyan Thakur Bhakti Road ki jai, Shri Rupan Gauri Durva ki jai, Jai Shri Krishnartana Bhatra Bharat Shri Gopal Gata Dasana Sarvaswam ki jai, Prem Shri Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Braja Mandala ki jai, Chakramanam Jagannath Pridam ki jai, Abhinna Vrindavan Krishna Gavri Mapudam ki jai, Shri Sri Radha Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan ki jai, Shri Bhuvana Mangal Kari Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Antaraj Shri Bhagavatam ki jai, Ananta Gauri Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Shri Purushottam Masa ki jai, Shri Purushottam Brahman Kari Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Madhya Sasya Sprishbhavanandini Smati Radharani ki jai, Jai Gaura Premanande.